Today we are going to build Fortress Inquisitorius from the wonderful new series OBI-WAN. Actually, this hasn't been present in the first 2 episodes, but this has been present in the trailer, so we're going to build this today. So let's jump into it and have a talk. Yeah, there you go. We are going to talk about this today, this build, which looks pretty cool, I guess, in the end result. But oh man, I can tell you that was a hell of a work I wasn't expecting. I also did alter the design a little bit, at least from what we can tell from the game, actually, where this fortress has been installed the first time. But I think the series also did a bit of a design change on this building. Now, a couple of things I need to mention. I built this from... I completely built this from the one shot that we have in the trailer, where there's one ship, actually the thumbnail, and that what you've seen at the beginning, is approaching this fortress. Now, a couple of things I have to mention right away. Of course, it is nowhere near in scale. I just couldn't, because it, like, you know, Star Wars scale is always ridiculous, and if you would do something in scale, it's just like, it would be totally out of place, because you just can't do that on the map or whatever, and with the pieces available, that's just kind of ridiculous anyways. But the build itself is pretty straightforward, exactly what you can see in the trailer, and I tried my best to rebuild it in a nice way, so it kind of translates the vibe into it. The same goes with the ship, this Inquisitor ship at the end we built at the last thing in today's build. I'll put this in the workshop as well, but it's not like, it looks good, it's not perfect. We're going to talk about this, why it's not perfect, when we approach the speed build part. But oh man, it has been a lot more complicated than I was initially thinking, simply because the form of these things, even though they look pretty simple and pretty clean, they are very hard to achieve in this game in particular, if the gizmo is broken, which essentially it is. So the 3D gizmo was really not my friend in this build. I tried my best to stick to the world axes and stuff, but still, even with this, I had a huge issue in multiple ways, that you couldn't rotate things the way it is. And of course, we don't have even the mirror tool or anything that would help in that sense. So a couple of things that really annoyed me during the build. But in other news, I think this build really was a good challenge to do something completely different. I mean, we did Last Homestead in the last build, which was a lot more straightforward, because it just kind of even provided the chance to make a habitat. This one over here is completely loose from Planet Zoo. This could have been in any other game as well, but I just wanted to use my most favorite building toolbox at this point. I even was thinking to do this doing this in Prehistoric Kingdom, but I ended up doing this in Planet Zoo, simply because still the building feels a bit more comfortable in Planet Zoo. I know we have the scaling option and essentially a kind of secret mirror option in Prehistoric Kingdom, but I don't think I would have been as quick in Prehistoric Kingdom, or as, I don't know, clean. I can't even tell, because it's just different. Even though it's very similar to this game, it's still different. So a couple of things that we talked about now, and I just wanted to mention that even though I tried to mimic as much as possible from the build, I'm using a couple of other blueprints I had already available, just to, you know, get a bit of detail in, and just mimicking this one shot. I really think that this is in favor of this entire build, because there's essentially nothing more you could do other than building this with this build, if you're not going to make this like a whole series or something, which I simply don't want to, and honestly I don't have the time to. So I think I'm just very, very pleased with the end result. I'm not gonna lie, it looks really, really impressive in-game, and it also looks really cool on the screenshot, and well, that's what I made it for, brutally honest here. So well, I guess that's nice. But the ship we are going to build in a second, there you go, looks really cool in the end. But oh my goodness me, this was one of the most complicated builds in this game. And I have no idea why, to be honest. Like, it doesn't look necessarily complicated, but the fact that you have so many different angles that are not connected to any grid is just making my life super complicated, and there is just like no easy way in kind of solving the issue, because you don't have like a fully fledged 3D option in here. You just have, well, justice. Well, that's just doesn't do the game justice, but you only have the gizmo available as it is in the game. But there are so many things from like a real 3D program you would need, like a proper mirror tool, or like a proper kind of alignment tool or something like that, that would really make your life a lot more simple when it comes to these very intricate builds. And well, I guess looking at what the game should be is not really that much needed, because, well, I'm just a stupid person building a Star Wars build in here, which is not mandatory for Planet Zoo anyway. So yeah, I'm still quite happy with the outcome. Like this starship looks really cool, even though I gotta say again, I messed up the proportions a little bit, but that is due to the fact that I built all of this previously, or like prior to watching the series. So I was a bit shocked when I saw the lander coming down at Tatooine, seeing how big it actually is. I took the X-wing as reference here, which was not the smartest idea I had. I should have taken the Razor Crest instead. That would have been the better judgment for the size, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really change much about the looks. And also in comparison to the big building, I think the size is a lot better, because if I would have done that bigger in relation to the tower, which is a lot smaller than what it should be, I think it would be even more out of place. So I think it's just fair to scale it down a tiny bit, even though not intentionally, I gotta say. Anyhow, let me just quickly talk about a couple of other things, simply because these days have been rather interesting. I made the Star Wars build basically in one go when I had some time. So I built both of them in one go to make sure that you guys have something for the series release. And yeah, I'm a bit confused that the first video basically has been ignored by everyone. Last Homestead is something I really loved. Let's see how this video is going to be received by the people. It seems like Obi-Wan hasn't received that much of a hype, or at least not, the hype is not really dribbling over to other things than the actual series and the actual reaction videos and stuff. And sometimes I really think I should just make reaction videos on YouTube. That's the most easy way to make content, I guess. But I'm just not like kind of the type of person who would do that. So basically, just don't get me wrong. I think, you know, people who do these reaction videos, some of them I even love watching. I don't know, it's a weird obsession to watch these, but I just couldn't do that myself. So props to those who can. I can't, but I think, you know, at the end of the day, it is rather simple content. So yeah, in that kind of sense, it would be nice, but on the other hand, I just need that. It was really good feeling to sit down again and build something with that level of detail, and just completely different from all the other builds. But yeah, I just have to say that this was a good moment to get some energy back, to let the creative muscles play a bit more. I really felt missing that. I haven't done YouTube videos in about 2 weeks properly. I recorded one franchise mode in between, and the rest was basically pre-recorded. So the last 2 weeks I have basically ignored everything regarding YouTube, just because my job was very stressy, and, you know, baby girl is doing some, well, I would say some naps, but she's not doing that many naps, so definitely not enough naps, but it's becoming better already. So I'm really hoping that now, as she can finally walk, things are becoming a lot better. But yeah, guess this is all I can tell about this build in particular. I really hope you guys enjoyed these two specials, and if you guys have a series or something where you think we could do something for, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to see these. And also, for those of you who are writing exams at the moment, I heard a lot of people telling me that they haven't been watching because of the exams. Hopefully you guys have a good time. Hopefully your exams went well, or they will go well in the coming days. So, you know, pretty promise, camel hands and fingers, and, you know, everything crossed for you. You know, that is definitely needed for some of you. And I really hope that you guys are having a good time with these and have successful exams at the end of the day. I just keep forgetting that because I'm so far away from my exams that I start forgetting about this. But it's normal. Like May, June is typically the time where people have their final exams. So yeah, fingers crossed for all of you. May the force be with you in these exams. But yeah, so at the end, I'm going to implement some wonderful screenshots again. I won't have a real-time part for you today because there's essentially nothing else than the tower, but I will have the blueprint for you ready as soon as possible so you can grab it from the workshop. It's always worth to check my workshop. Sometimes I'm only able to put things later on in, but yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to talk to you in the next one. Stay safe, have a good time, and thank you so much for your ongoing support. Again, as always, if you haven't subscribed yet and you fancy doing so, that would be amazing. So thank you all for your amazing support. Have a good time and enjoy watching this series. Goodbye!